Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Ultrapond podcast. With me, as always, Focus.
Hello, and with me as always is Tadpole. Feature
Hello.
Tadpole. How's it going?
Very good. So you had a few things you wanted to talk to me about today.
Yes. So today, the content that we'll be talking about was planned by me, which means it'll be of much lesser quality, but we'll see where this goes. So first of all, want to talk about all the new things that happened with Nintendo this week, like according to Nintendo Online. So they added, first of all, the Game Boy Advance game. I don't know if you remember when this came out, brother, but Kirby Tilt and Tumble for the Game Boy. Do you
Oh,
remember that?
I remember. Okay, I just realized I was remembering Kirby Canvas Curse. I'm not actually sure
Canvas
about
Curse?
Tilt and Tumble, but I'm assuming it's a
Okay,
very
so
similar. Right, because they had the Rumble, not Rumble, but they actually, if you churn the.
right, it was the Game Boy cartridge with like the fat like thing on top that
Oh my
what they have in Joy-Cons now that measured your motion.
Okay, can I just really quick pause and just talk about how back then we used to have those, like, oh, here's how the usual cartridge looks, and then we have the big fat cartridge to do some absurd wacky BS with.
Yeah.
Uh,
Do you remember I don't know what the game was called, but where it was like solar powered and it would like power up your sword in the game? Do you remember that?
I I know it's probably Golden Sun. I'm gonna guess is the
I
game,
I think so too. I feel
but
that was what came to mind too, but like
I believe
I don't
you.
know. Yeah.
I don't. We never had it. I don't think. I do remember.
No.
I was it. We had one game that like the the Game Boy actually got heavier while playing it. Like I remember it was like a Little Mermaid pinball or something like that.
Yeah, I think I remember that too because the pinball games, the jostling was, yep,
Oh,
yep.
that was for jostling. Because I was a kid, I never jostled, or I
Oh no,
jostled and then it
you're
slipped
just
out.
like,
I'm
why
like,
is this so fat? That's like a funny, but yeah.
uh,
So Kirby Tilt and Tumble is now on the Nintendo Switch Online service, which is really cool because it uses the Joy-Con motion controls to be able to emulate the
mhm.
tilting and the tumbling, and like it's first. Oh, do you have something to say?
Just to accentuate that, if you're not playing it on your TV, if you're playing it portable, it's the full-on experience because the entire screen.
Yes.
Well, so that's actually really smart on their part, I think.
And it kind of leads to how do I say this? It's like it's really cool that they're doing something like this because the thing about Nintendo is so many of their consoles come out and they have some weird gimmick. And so then it's like, okay, wait, how do I emulate that game? Like, how do they repeat that game again? Because like the Wii U kind of screwed them over on a lot of games because like, how do you remake a Wii U game unless your thing has two screen? How do you remake or emulate a DS game? Because you need a top screen and a bottom touch, like and like they have found a way to integrate some of their old weird gimmicks into their new consoles, and so it's really exciting to see Kirby Tilt and Tumble come out because it's like, wow, they're really like bringing it all together, which is kind of their point with Nintendo Switch Online, which is really cool. So I'm excited to have Kirby Tilt and Tumble. Um,
Nice. Yeah.
I
No.
mean, I don't know how they'll do DS games or anything.
Yeah.
I mean, they did it on the Wii. Well, Wii U made sense how they could do it, but it's just exciting to see Nintendo be able to bring that stuff back.
Yeah, and that's one of the things about like the loss of the Wii U, because as I said, my
No.
nostalgia is at DS, 3DS. So when I got the Wii
Yeah,
U, it clicked with me. Wii U is one of my favorite systems. I played.
I love it.
Yeah, no, I recognize it failed. I recognize there was a lot of complicated things, but I just saw all the potential in a way that I didn't see it with the Wii growing up, and
Yeah,
I was super disappointed when that thing didn't succeed. I
I
recognize it's
know.
very difficult to build a game that like utilizes what the Wii U has, and it like the Switch is much better for like third party and stuff. I just
Yeah.
wish that like one day they bring out the Switch and they show this game off where it's like, oh, this game you need the TV and like somehow it connects to the TV while having its portable, so it could be the next Wii U and could have some 3DS abilities, but like I don't think that's designed for it. That might be the like Switch Pro or whatever the next
Yes.
console is.
I
I
was
kind
gonna
of
say that. Like, I
ah
would love for them to somehow. I don't know how they would do it. I mean, they got to be creative. It's Nintendo. They'll be creative,
yeah.
but like being able to have like that screen in your hand and the one on screen, like like if they could somehow figure out how to do that with the next system, but where you could also just put the other screen back in the dock and then just have the controller too if you wanted or something
Hmm.
like that'd be so sick if they could figure that out. Not if only if only just to be able to emulate DS games again and get like a Nintendo DS library going on there because that would be
Because
so
yeah, they
sick.
recently ended the 3DS market and stuff, so there's like all those games on
Mm-hmm.
the 3DS are
Yeah.
just kind of gone. But if we could integrate that into the Switch library,
Yeah.
like, and then
And
yeah, the problem is it's like I know they can do it. I mean, they have the Wii U. We know it can be done.
yeah,
But
it's
it's
just
just like, oh, well, this was a horrible mistake we made years ago. Let's repeat it, except better this time. That's
yeah,
definitely going to work
exactly.
like it worked last time. Like,
Yeah, Nintendo lives by the philosophy of Nintendo, so you know you just gotta roll with their punches. So I hope they're going in that direction too. But you know, speaking of like having so many games on the Switch, like retro ones, having access to online, like I've got my little shrine over here of my retro games and stuff, and I have not had to like open them up again or pick them up just because it's all on the Switch now.
mm-hmm.
Like basically I mean, I'm a Nintendo stan, so like a lot of my a lot of the retro games I want to play are just Nintendo anyways. But like so many of them are just on the Switch now, and it's like such a better experience playing it on the Switch, especially for the N64 if you have
Yeah.
one of these bad boys, the wireless
Oh,
Nintendo
right.
Switch N64. Yeah, these are so sick.
Uh,
But um
which is
yeah, it's
also
just cool.
it's also good because it's like it's far more approachable. Like if you go to those old stores to pick up an N64 video game, a lot of them are just like, why is this so expensive? This is like, what was it, like
Right.
NFL Hockey League 22,
Okay,
like 1997 or whatever.
the sports games are still pretty cheap to be honest. But it's one of those things where it's like, why is it so expensive? But also, I'll pay it. Like, it's like I understand why, because it's like it does have that value, but it does feel feels like we're getting scammed somehow. But
Mhm.
it's like I do understand the value of these games. But
It's like,
yeah,
listen,
super excited.
nostalgia shouldn't be part of the price tag.
Yeah, exactly. That's just the appreciation part. Don't charge me for it. Yeah, even though they have many times and gotten away with it.
You can't keep
But
getting away with it.
they can't. What else happened in Nintendo Switch Online? So, another thing that happened in Nintendo Switch Online, you know the little icons for your little profile? They like to have these things called platinum points, which you earn on Nintendo Switch Online. I have to explain this for Tadpole because he is a fake gamer, doesn't play it. But
I thought, I thought we were
but
defending against that last time. But 2 days have passed.
okay, do you remember what you said in the last podcast about what game you said you would play?
Oh
Because
my
we can go
god.
back.
Okay, I am a fake gamer. I accept it. I still haven't played
Yep,
Tears of
still
the
hasn't played.
Kingdom.
Nope, that's okay though. That's okay. Don't force yourself or you'll hate it, you know. But
Yeah, exactly.
okay, so they have the new these like cartoon Splatoon icons. So how they do it is like you earn these platinum points through select missions, and the missions will be uh play a game that uses the Switch Online service and you get 50 coins, or like play some of them have to do with the game that came out like that week. So it'll be like, oh, you get 100 coins if you play like Pikmin 4 because it came out this week. And then a lot of the other missions are pretty easy. Let me just look what this week's missions are, but a lot of the other missions are just like turn on your Switch and like things like
And
that.
while you
But
look those up, I just want to
yeah,
state, like, just like this has been sitting in
is it
hand's
sealed?
length on my desk, still sealed. Just I didn't have to move or anything. It's literally just sitting right here on my desk to remind me, Ben, when you find time, play the game.
And time is still hiding from him somehow.
Yep.
Okay,
But
yeah,
I
so
found time to record.
so this week's missions are play Kirby Tilt and Tumble, just use Nintendo Switch Online, back up your save data, which like back up your save data online, and then play a software that supports online play. So I still need to do that. So I should play some Mario Kart today just to complete that mission and get myself some coins. But
Can
what
I
were we gonna say?
actually just really quick state, back up your save data online is actually a really smart mission. Like it actually
Yeah,
prevents like it's a protective measure that people do not think about doing. And it's like, hey, get extra points for doing what you should be doing.
that's so true. It's like
It's
it's
not
like
a
an
game element. It's not actually encouraging you to play. It's just saying, hey, be safe in your play style. Like,
yeah. And on another note, it's like one of the most non-scummy corporate things you can do, like giving your customers something also not saying like, hey, we'll back up your save data for you if you pay. It's like, no, we'll reward you for you doing it. It's like that's really cool, actually. Yeah, that's a good point. But but yeah. Anyways, so you earn these points. You earn these points, and you can spend them on the icons. It's kind of cheesy,
Oh.
but there's like little icons that go on your profile on Nintendo Switch. But they rotate out. They rotate in and out. I think they stay there for about 2 or 3 weeks. They do every month. They change up the Animal Crossing one, so they have like the Animal Crossing icons for all of the characters that have a birthday that month, and that's pretty cool.
Oh.
But this week they have, or they put in the Splatoon. They have another series of Splatoon icons. They're like some cartoon-looking Splatoon ones. I'm not huge on Splatoon, so I'm not too excited about that. But they have Wave 2 and also the final. I think it's the final. I think it's Wave 2. It's the final wave, regardless. The final wave of Pikmin icons. So I got in there and bought some, got some of the Pikmin looking ones. I still like using my Zelda one. You know the little logo. By the way, so the little logo for the
Hey.
that's my icon right now on the Switch.
Nice.
By the way, this thing, if you want to actually use your platinum points for something good, I actually put these all out here because this is something that's sick about the Nintendo Online service and something that it's kind of secret. It's not actually secret, but like they don't really advertise it that much. So I got this for like 500 Nintendo platinum points or whatever. So for free, I might have had to pay like shipping, like $5 shipping or something, but it's like a sick keychain. That's
Yeah.
hella a collector's item. And this isn't the only thing I've got. Dude, when they have items on there, because I like to splurge on it because what Nintendo used to do, I don't know if you remember this, Tadpole, but when you remember when you
I
buy
was
a
gonna
new game.
go grab it because I didn't know you were talking about
Yeah,
this.
yeah, go for it. Go for it
You
because I'll
keep
talk
talking
about it.
while
Yeah,
I'll go grab the theme.
yeah. Yeah, so Nintendo used to have this program. This is the Platinum Points is kind of a replacement for it now. But they used to have this program where you would, in each game, you would have, the manual, and then you'd have like an advertising insert, and then another insert that was like a code that would be like, oh, go to mynintendo.com, type it in, you get like a bunch of points for buying one of our games. And then you could use those points to buy some really sick merchandise. Like I remember I got a poster set of a bunch of Zelda posters. And I think I have one of them on my wall right there. I don't know if that was part of it, but you get one. You get like sets of posters. You can get like lunch boxes. You get like such cool stuff. But now they put it on this platinum point system. That's one of the things I got. Let me just show you all the things I got from it because I spent those platinum points, and they rolled over from the My Nintendo program. So like they really like honor the loyal customers, which is cool. But
And
I got this calendar. Go for it. Yeah.
as for back when we were on the My Nintendo program, I specifically remember for like 2,000 platinum points or something like that, we actually got a full-on little game of ours, like on the DS. So like the Game and Watch collection.
Yeah.
Like this,
See,
we
there was
did
so
not buy
much
this
cool
game.
stuff.
We just got from platinum points.
Dude, that's probably worth
And like
something.
you can even see like the Nintendo Club little symbol. There's no price tag written on it. Like, dude.
Why does it even have a barcode, honestly? But
Yeah, why does it have a barcode?
dude, that's so cool. I didn't realize. I forgot about that. That's
It's
so
a DS
sick.
game, so it's part of my nostalgia.
Yeah, makes sense. But yeah, so I got the calendar. I just recently got that keychain. I got some freaking Pikmin stickers. I love Pikmin. And then I got this is a silly little thing. It's a Mario and Me activity book. It's literally Mario. It's definitely for kids. This is
Sorry, I was just commenting like, I get to do these with Mario. Oh, woohoo!
Wow! Finally. But it's like a little like it's almost like it kind of reminds me of like when we were like the little devotional books mom and dad would get us and stuff. But instead of devotional with your Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, it's with your Lord and Savior Mario.
Oh,
and
God.
like,
Nintendo's
and every
making a
day,
religion. Mario is our savior.
yeah, I'm in, dude. Tap me up with the Nintendo on my face, whatever. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
But look at this. It has like January. Oh, it's reverse, but it says like January 6th. What is your favorite toy and what makes it so fun? Oh, wait, here's a better one. January 10th. If Mario was hiding something under his hat, what do you think it would be? Why? Just like really silly. Yeah, I hope it. True. But yeah, just like little silly prompts. Like it's just Nintendo's such a fun company, and they just do like little cool things like this. And yeah, super excited for it. Oh, and speaking of, I'll just get to this real quick too. Speaking of Nintendo stuff that's free right now, limited time at GameStop, you can just go in and ask them for one of these cards. They're
Oh,
handing these out right now. It's
how
like a
long?
Tinkaton. Huh?
How long until they stop?
I don't know until they run out. Really, like just go in and grab one.
All right.
My girlfriend works at GameStop, so I got some of the inside scoops on that stuff. So I got a couple of these. But yeah, pretty cool. Go get your free shit. Like, don't
Yeah.
let this go to waste. That's why I like that. Well, Nintendo Online isn't technically free. You got to pay the yearly fee or whatever. But you get a lot of stuff for it. And at this point, as a Nintendo fan, it is hella worth it. I know there was a lot of debate at the beginning, people saying like they didn't think it was worth it or was like overpriced.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, if you own Mario Kart, if you like Mario Kart, if you like Animal Crossing, if you like Splatoon, if you like retro Nintendo, man, like it's so worth it. And, like
Mm-hmm.
it kind of sucks that it's the only way to like play the online service. Like it doesn't feel like the online service should cost a Nintendo Online subscription, you
Mm-hmm.
know? Like like I mean the online service as in just being able to connect to people over the internet.
Yeah,
Like
no.
cuz
They,
you
they should
can't
have
even
been separated, is kind of what we're saying.
yeah.
Like, you should have been able
Yeah.
to purchase online as, like, this
Like a 5
10
buck thing or
$5
something.
program or just cheaper, and then
Or even
tack this
free.
on. Yeah, for,
Cuz it's so weird that you can't just play Mario Kart online for free or trade Pokemon online for free. It's like, you shouldn't have to pay for that in my opinion.
fair.
But all the rest of this stuff, very cool, very
Yeah.
worth the value.
Just
Do
really
you have any
quick
more to
on
say? Okay,
that,
yeah.
like, just realizing, like, oh, Pokemon or Nintendo as a religion, like, dangerous, like, just all the things they could have done. Captain Falcon died for our sins. Like,
Wait,
or
what?
F-Zero
Is
died for
that
our sins.
me? Oh yeah, because he's gone.
Yep.
Yep, he did. He died because of our sins. Not even
We didn't
because
like
none of
the
us loved
fast
F-Zero.
pace. We couldn't keep up with him.
Yeah, exactly. GX was just their freaking meteor ending. They just burnt out. And I only played that game for a minute, but
Yeah. I
I
still
loved
remember you were in the tutorial and we were just like, okay, I can't even keep up right now.
it's so true. That game's like woo, woo, woo. It's sick. I wish I should play it sometime. I haven't gotten to it, but
Mm-hmm.
I hope they put that somehow on Nintendo Switch. That'd be sick. I mean, they've been porting. They just ported Pikmin 1 and 2, which we can talk about by the way. Like that's so sick. The only thing that's disappointing is I think you remember in Pikmin 2 they actually had like product placements. Like they had Duracell and Coca-Cola and like
Uh,
they took those out for the remake, which is unfortunate.
I,
And yeah, right. It's like not a big deal, but it's just like it was one of those things where you're like, what? I mean, I guess maybe it's not as sick nowadays, but it was so sick back then. And another thing they changed some like I guess he used to make jokes about pot that they took out. Like one of the items you would get in Pikmin 2 that you like brought your treasures was a pot leaf, and they took that out, which is like I understand, but unfortunate. They also changed some of the kind of more misogynistic jokes, you know, not like super. There was like whenever you collect like a set of treasures, they have a title for the set of treasures, and one of the treasures was a bunch of jewels, and they called it was like the whiny wife set or something.
uh,
And so, but they changed it to the like expensive love set or they're like in love and broke set or something like that, which
which
just made
that
it
keeps the joke at least.
exactly. It made the joke way better, I thought, and it
Yeah,
made it way more
it
like
makes it
just not
approachable without
anti-woman.
losing the joke.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like yeah, I think that's a good change. So they made some good changes, they made some unfortunate changes, but um yeah, Pikmin 2 and Pikmin 1, dude, I can't wait till the physical comes out. I'm so
Yeah.
excited for that. Um
Um,
yeah, do you have any more to say?
just I remember I do watch some Nintendo stuff, so I was watching Arlo gush about this,
Oh,
and
yes,
also
yes.
about the brilliance of that we revealed, hey, the Pikmin 4 is coming in the future. Be hyped about that. But then what am I doing right now? Well, Pikmin 1 and 2 have just come out, so I can play that right now.
Yeah, I saw the video too. Yeah,
Yeah.
he made a good point about Nintendo's marketing and like this being a really good thing to just release. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And just the fact that now they can do that just anytime in the future. Like, maybe they said that they're working on Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon. Maybe they might reveal Luigi's Mansion 4 when it comes out. Oh my gosh, and the Princess Peach game. That means maybe that gets brought in the DS one that you missed out
Oh
on.
my gosh.
Like,
That'd be sick. Cuz yeah, that's one of those games I like. I just regret not getting or not playing a little bit, but yeah.
By the
Yeah,
way,
that'd
it
be
took me
sick.
till now to realize I have my glasses on that I don't
I was
usually.
wondering. I didn't want to say anything.
Yeah. I didn't realize till after we were started recording. I'm like, oh, I'm stuck with it now, I guess. I just started noticing the reflection from my eyes. I'm like, no, the viewers want to see my beautiful eyes.
Yeah, we all want to see her. There we go. Mm-hmm. That's what we're here for. Tadpole's face. All right. You more to say to that, or can I move on?
Yeah, you can move on.
All right. And okay, so another thing that was added on the Nintendo Online service for Genesis titles. We've got Gals and Ghosts for the Genesis. Pretty cool. I do not know anything about any of these games besides the titles.
I do
But
know
they
about
added.
that one, so we can talk afterwards.
Okay, yeah, yeah. Let me like
Yeah,
read them all.
read
So
off
I
the
mean,
tiles and then we'll go through it.
yeah. So, like I know of Gals and Ghosts, but like I don't know what the Genesis version is. But okay, we'll get to it.
I don't know.
Gals and Ghosts, Crusaders of Kurti. I have bad handwriting. Crusaders of Kurti, Landstalker, and the Revenge of the Shinobi. So brother, you know what Gals and Ghosts is? You want to explain that for the viewers in a little more
So I
detail?
believe Gals and Ghosts. Oh,
I'm thinking Ghosts and Goblins.
I'm thinking Gals and Goblins.
I think. Okay, wait. Yeah, me too. I just
So-
realized that too. But I think Gals and Ghosts is the sequel to Ghosts and Goblins. I
Okay.
think.
Yeah, because I'm like, I thought it was Gals and Goblins. Maybe I do believe it is the sequel. It might be.
Yeah.
One of them you play as the villain destroying the world instead of as the hero
Ooh.
fighting him back. I think Gals and Ghosts. Can we just? I'm just gonna Google it.
I was gonna say like we're sitting here like trying to come up.
I just realized if I Google it, it might mess with the camera visual on my side.
Oopsie.
So,
that's fine. But yeah, if any of those Genesis titles are interesting to you, go ahead and check those out. I always get excited when they add new games to the Switch. Like I just like checked them out. Like even I think on the SNES, they added a game a long time ago called Jelly Boy or something. It was like some stupid looking game. Played it for like 5 seconds and I was like, this is kind of what I expected. But it's like it's kind of cool that they do that though. Like I just love that. It's like having access to a library of games. I mean, it literally is. It's so cool.
It is like one of the things that the reason I play Steam so much is because I was part of Humble Bundle, which meant that I just constantly piled on more and more games. So it's like,
Yeah.
oh, I want to play something. Well, hit all in, roll a D100 twice, and the result is which of these thousands of games I'm going to be playing. Because I just built up such a library. I played like 12 of them.
Yeah, it's crazy how I feel like we're not alone in this at all. It's crazy how gaming kind of into your adulthood it comes to this, where you just have it's like you have so many games and you're not gonna play them all, and it's just like you don't
just
stop.
Jump in, do something stupid for a while. Like I remember when you were over and we played what was it? Not Street Fighter, the one where you're two. They meet a River City.
Oh yeah. No, it was Golden Axe.
We played Golden Axe too, but then we also played that River City Street Fighter game, and I remember you kept beating you mistook me for an enemy and just killed me like twice.
That sounds about right.
You're hitting me. Like, calm down, I'm trying to kill this enemy. He has a lot of health.
This guy's hard. Yep, sounds about right. See, that's what I love. But then, like, that's the point of games, right? The point of games isn't to play them all to completion. It's to like have the most fun with your games. And it's like, if what's fun to you is to just go in, pop it in, play it with your brother for a second, and then never touch it again. Like, that's sick to even be able to have that experience. You know?
Exactly. And like, these are Genesis. Sorry, I'm just like, we're Nintendo stats. I just remember Genesis does what Nintendo don't. And now advertised by Nintendo.
Yeah, exactly. But they feel silly now. But we can talk more. Yeah, we can talk more about the details of Nintendo Online after I read off the rest of this list, because that's going to be the main part of this podcast, is just talking about Nintendo Online and like why it's so good in retro games and stuff like that. But there's only a couple more things that were added to Nintendo Online. So they added a Pikmin 4 demo, which I'm not gonna check out. I'm so excited for Pikmin 4. Like I didn't have I thought I would have a lot to say too on the last podcast, but I didn't have anything to say on it. I don't know. The games I love, I just want to play it. Like it's like I don't want to like like imagine what my experience is gonna be. I like because then it
Yeah.
kind of might ruin it. I just want it to happen. So it's like Zelda and Pikmin. I don't look up anything about it. Just like give me it. So I'm
So
not gonna play it, but that's out there. Yeah.
perfect example, Pokemon Violet. If I
Mhm.
looked like if I researched that, I would not have loved it because I it was literally from just experience it and just letting the game
100%.
tell me, hey, take it slow, enjoy it. Like
Yeah.
it was
And like have fun like encountering all these new Pokemon you've never seen and these new ways of playing you've never seen. That was I mean because I've played through the entire game 100% of it and now I'm just like done with it. But like that's like the way you have to play the new Pokemon I think. So, yeah.
because it was just the thing was everyone else was hating on it, but I just felt like it was just the general
There's a
Pokemon
lot of hate.
hate
There's always
because
hate.
the reason
Yeah.
for the hate was the expectation. They wanted
Yep.
something else out of the game, and instead they changed the formula not to like speed it up and make it more exciting, but to slow it down and make it more personal.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, Ben, you need to play Breath of the Wild or Tears of
Tears of the
Kingdom
Kingdom.
because like there's so much stuff like this that I want to talk to you about
Oh my
because like
gosh,
I've
yeah.
been
So
seeing
when I
some
start
takes.
playing, you want to just do podcasts talking about just Tears of the Kingdom every once in a while?
Yeah.
All
Yeah,
right,
yeah, yeah. That'd be sick.
all
Because
right.
I have so much to say. But sorry, viewers, no Tears of Kingdom news today. But yeah,
Sorry,
Pikmin
I am a
4,
monster.
no shame.
No,
But yeah,
no.
Pikmin 4 demo's out. And then one more game came out on the Game Boy Advanced emulator. And I've been having a really good time with it. Actually, I wasn't expecting to have a good time with it. I had. It's Fire Emblem for the Game Boy Advance, which is a remake of the very original Fire Emblem for the Game Boy Advance. So it's like it's like they remade the original Fire Emblem for the Game Boy Advanced back in the day on the game, and then they remade the remake on the Nintendo Switch Online. But it's really good. It's like so I tried to play Three Houses for like an hour, and it's one of those games where you're like, oh, this is an RPG. Like this is a Dragon Quest level RPG. Like I need to. This is going to be like a 100-hour, 80-hour game. So I wasn't ready for that, so I kind of just put it away. I'm like, maybe I'll check it out later. This game though, it's like little story beat, tactic fight, little story beat, tactic fight, little story beat, tactic
Mm,
fight. And I'm like, no wonder people love Fire. Like now I understand the love for Fire Emblem after playing this. I played through like 4 or 5 chapters. Now I understand the love for it because it's just like it's like watching an anime except your characters can die in the battlefield and change the whole story. And it's like, whoa, I can actually it's like I totally get why people love it and the tactics is so fun. And I'm playing on easy mode, so it's even funner
yeah.
for me. I'm not a hardcore player, but yeah, I totally understand the love for Fire Emblem. And you did you play
S-
Advanced Wars Tactics
I think the only
or was
Fire
it
Emblem I
XCOM?
played, I believe it was Fire Emblem Awakening. It was whatever was
Oh, so you
given.
did play Fire Emblem.
It was whatever was given as part of the ambassador account because I bought the the 3DS too early.
Mm-hmm.
And I
Mm-hmm.
specifically just remember like that shock that the tutorial ends with, "Hey, we're not all making out alive. Which of us do you want to sacrifice?" And
Dude,
I was just like, well, I can't sacrifice this. Like, you are the character that's the least interested, but you're also 10 levels higher than everyone else. We're not losing our Cavalier. Like,
yeah, it
and
makes you make some hard
so it's like,
choices.
do I pick the serious guy or the comic relief to die? And then how is that going to change the story in the future? Like, there were later missions where, there's people on the enemy side that you could talk to join your ranks, and I couldn't figure out how to talk to one of them. I'm worrying if it's because that character that died might have been the person I
Oh,
needed to talk to them with.
so true.
And it's like you don't know how that story ends. I will state one problem with Fire Emblem is just that the whole intent of it is, as you say, it's an anime where anyone could die, anything could happen, and the natural element is, but I want everyone to live. I want the happy,
Yeah,
perfect ending,
me too.
but you're not gonna get it. I still remember one time, the first time I'm after the narrative sacrifice where I actually like sacrificed in a fight one of my characters. And it was like
Wow.
it was a person that didn't even have any lines yet. It probably wasn't like it was named because all the soldiers have names more than anything else. And
Okay.
even then it like hurt so hard to throw him in front of the mercenary that like crit fishes and have him get crit. And like
Yeah,
just saying, but I was having so much trouble in this fight, and now I'm about to win it. Am I really about to reset it? And my answer
I
was,
know.
no, I have to continue. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm going to go do it.
That's crazy. Yeah, this game makes for some epic moments and some like Fire Emblem. Like I just wanted to like put it out there that this like Game Boy Advance like emulator thing just like really gave me an appreciation for Fire Emblem that I never had before. And that's like all the stuff that happened this week, so I just wanted to transition into like that's like the the big key to this Nintendo Online thing that's just so sick. Like like that people can just explore all these franchises and like with no extra cost. Like you don't have to invest money to like well I mean you have to pay for online, but you don't have to invest like buying a game if you don't like it, like just to check out the franchise because and I think this works mostly with Nintendo because they really keep their series very consistent throughout as they evolve. They still keep their like consistent like gameplay style and like theme and all that. So it's first of all, it's a genius move by Nintendo, but it's also kind of a genius move that only Nintendo can really do, you know? So I
I
just want to know your thoughts on that. Like, you agree with that, or
So
yeah?
as you were bringing up and saying how it's like, oh, Nintendo can do this, it brings you in. I realized like one of the big challenges is that you constantly have to be playing Nintendo over other systems because you're spending this additional money for it. I
Mm.
realized this is literally Nintendo's season pass model. Um, so in case you're wondering, there are two major models that free to play games get to have you continue to invest both time and money into, and one is loot boxes, which people are hating because it's
Yeah,
gambling,
it's like gambling.
and
Yeah.
the other is the season pass model, in which you invest some money and then you get like the stronger rewards as long as you keep continuing to play the game and continuing
True.
through. And in this sense, it's like, hey, here's all these awesome ways to play the game. Here's also all these points you can get by just being part of this, but
Yeah.
you have to do this initial investment. You have to keep paying for our season pass, our online access,
Yeah,
and
that's super cool. It really rewards you. I mean, it's kind of obvious, but it really rewards you for your investment and like that's just so sick to like feel like a company's loyal to you almost. I mean, I'm sure Nintendo done some sketchy stuff in the past, and it's like that's why I say almost because it's not really.
and
But
another thing is the season pass model is more to give you loyalty to the company because of the general element of you get all these points for continuing to work with them to invest into it, which basically because you're spending the money sunk cost, you're going to keep investing into this. You can only invest generally when one person buys a season pass for one game, they're not buying it for any other game.
yeah, that makes sense. Yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah,
so they're really intelligent in just saying, "Hey, our season pass isn't for a specific game; it's for Nintendo as a whole." That's actually a
yeah,
extremely that is a brilliant tactic because if you get
yeah.
tired, you're going to get tired of Splatoon eventually. You'll want to move to Smash Bros. If you're not in the competitive scene, you're going to get tired of Smash Bros. Eventually. You're going to want to move to, hey, Mario Wonder just came out, and like having all of those season passes as just the Nintendo Online pass. It is
Yeah.
brilliant. I think so. I think that kind of leans in like a good future for season passes is to have them like interconnected, where it's not you're buying this one theme, you're buying this one theme for all of these different games and ways of playing, and it builds this greater investment that's brilliant, but it's also kind of scary because like you talk about how you're a big Nintendo stan, so you love it,
Hmm.
and like this is
Hmm.
exactly what you're looking for. But if you just play Nintendo casually, it's like, why am I investing? And I think we get back to the question of why can't you just buy Nintendo Online without this? Why can't
Yeah.
you do it with? Why can't you separate? Because if it's just I want to play some Nintendo, and then I want to move to my PS5, then I want to move to my Xbox One, then I'm playing on Steam for a while. It becomes a lot more difficult because it's like this one company asks for such an investment.
It's so true. They really are like, hey, it's all in or all out. Like, I do think, I mean, if you have the finances for it, you can get the Nintendo Online and complete the weekly missions. You can complete the weekly missions in, like, if you're really just there to complete the missions in like an hour, hour and a half. Because I think even less, because a lot of it's just like play this game for 15 minutes, play this game for 15 minutes kind of things, you know? So you can really complete the missions really fast, but it still requires you to check in every week. And, even if you're just getting the missions, you're not getting the full value because the full value is the new games and like actually playing the game. Like, and yeah, it's a really good point. Like Nintendo is really saying like, hey man, like it's all in Nintendo or all out. Because like, yeah, if you don't get the online, that's just ultra casual, man. Like you're not like there's some good story games you can get through, but you're missing out on a lot, and it does create probably for some people like a sense of FOMO, like
Yeah.
kind of like I'm
And
gonna
that's
miss
one of
out
the
on
big
something
things
if
of
I don't
season
get it.
passes. That's why they gain
Yeah,
value. That's why they are a
yeah,
business model.
makes sense, man.
Mm,
Yeah, dude, the only season pass I've ever been at that level where I'm like, I kind of want it, but I don't really want it. It was like in Magic the Gathering Arena because it was
mm-hmm.
like I love Magic and I love that they finally have a platform you can just go online and play it like real
Yeah.
quick. But it's still Magic, which means you need to invest like a gazillion dollars
Yeah.
to compete at
Like
all. So yeah,
the like I will say the one like if you take so Magic the Gathering Arena is a game just for those who don't know.
oh yeah, good call.
Yeah,
Good.
Magic the Gathering is it's a card game that is some people growing up we call I think people termed it cardboard cocaine because it was one of the most expensive card games there is. Just recently they released a card.
And addicting. Well, it's expensive and addicting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's but it's I want to be clear. Almost every trading card game that's come out afterwards has had in some way been based off of Magic the Gathering in some way. Hearthstone was literally, hey, we're competing with Magic the Gathering by being a free online client. So Arena was less like, all right, well now we're a free online client. Your move, Hearthstone, and
I've never played Hearthstone again.
yep, basically same here. Um, but one of the themes is the Magic the Gathering Arena. I do love the game, and if you can play it properly, it is one of my favorite games. I do go back to it constantly, but also I cannot recommend it to people a lot of the time
Yeah.
because one, if you like, they are really good at trying to get you into the store, and like they will give you bonuses just for entering the store page, and
Yeah,
um
like it'll be like they'll have some deal like, oh, for 50 coins you can buy 100 coins today, and it's like, okay, so now I have to check like every single day to make sure. And then like I was following an account on Twitter that would just tell you when that stuff happens, so you didn't have to check. But still, that was like pinging my Twitter like every like 3 times a week, and I was like, this is ridiculous. I don't even, like,
mm-hmm.
and like another thing, I don't want to go too far into Magic the Gathering because I feel like we could just stick with games, but
Yeah.
like just every time you want to, like if you haven't played for like 3 months, even if you want to go to a tournament, it's like $20, like
Yeah.
$30 just to like buy a deck and like participate or buy some packs and
Yeah.
participate. It's like it's crazy how much it
Yeah.
costs all the
So
time.
I joined a commander tournament some time ago. Like I even have a deck that
Nice.
was like a pre-built, and like the pre-built deck just for all the card prices to keep it like semi-competitive. I'm generally weaker than my opponents. I have to use strategy to go around them, sort of stuff. Um, Even then, the deck costs $30. The protectors and sleeves, so I could play it consistently, cost another 12.
Oh yeah, yeah, all the other things
Yeah,
that associate with
and it just like and then like there was a price because we wanted to get rewards for it, and like the place is awesome. So like when I get booster packs, I could give them back for store credit, so I don't have to pay for my next tournament because I paid it off with all the booster packs I won in the tournament, sort of stuff.
So you found your way around it.
Yeah, but it's just like it's also it's expensive, and yeah,
Yeah.
we could have an entire episode about Magic the Gathering and like also what's
I
been
mean, we
happening
could bring it back to
recently, but
Nintendo and
let's
just
bring it back
video
to
games,
Nintendo.
like talking about just like this kind of model that going forward. Because like, okay, let's think about that. Like the Nintendo Online service is so sick. Like they're almost making it, not really, but they're almost making it unnecessary to have your retro games anymore. Like you don't need to like keep that stuff around. Like now you can just invest in the company and or in this online service and they'll have it. And like like the what'd you just call it? The quest? What's the
Season
thing
pass.
called? Season pass. I can't believe I forgot that. But the season pass model is kind of that, and like I think these companies they're just trying to find a way to like participate in this online economy, type thing. Like, because the game's changing, the game
Mm-hmm.
of the game world is changing. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, you've got lots of things are downloadable now, which honestly we could talk about that too, like downloaded
But
digital games versus the physical copies.
yeah,
But
and
like I prefer the physical, but like that's a big thing where how are they going to justify some of the prices of these games if they're just only digital? And like Yeah, how is that gonna? Yeah, do you have something to say? I feel like I'm just kind of trailing
Just
off here. But
just also when we were talking about how they're trying to get into this space, one thing that people do need to remember is that Nintendo is owned by shareholders and therefore does have to like focus on money quite a bit. And if
well,
you Google it, I think one of their most highest like grossing games is actually just like a Fire Emblem mobile app game.
oh God.
Yeah. So when you click that clicks into place.
I don't think okay, but Nintendo, I don't think they go for the money, man.
Yeah.
Like I,
And that's one of the
I
things I
can't.
love them because they don't. It doesn't seem like they do. They actually have
Yeah,
a care. The perfect example that they don't go for the money is when the Wii U failed. The people on top took the pay cuts so that everyone else would be all right.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I've heard a lot of good. I mean, I have heard there's some bad employee treatment. I've heard some rumors about that from Nintendo. I don't know, but yeah, like it seems like Nintendo's like pretty good and honorable, and I wouldn't be surprised if like on the inside they had some sort of like code they stick to, like an honorable like Buddhist, like some sort of code they stuck to, you know? Like I wouldn't be surprised if there was something like that because I watch a lot of interviews with them and Nintendo people, and they always say like we have our Nintendo way, and they're like they keep it very secret, and I do feel like it's something like that, and
Mm-hmm.
it just shows in like how they interact with the gaming sphere.
Yep. And I'm not sure if you know this. Japanese culture, like one of the big things is when you get hired from a company, that company kind of becomes your family. You're expected to stay in that company for the rest of your life, and you don't get fired. You might get demoted, and the way you go up in life is you get hired higher up in the company. Like for example, the guy who made the Game Boy Color, he started in the company as their janitor. Like he just
That's
worked his way
crazy.
up over like decades of work.
And then, I mean, one of the greatest creators of all time, Miyamoto, Shigeru Miyamoto, I'm pretty sure he just started as like one of their artists.
Yeah.
And then they're like, okay, we need another person. We need like one more game designer get in here to like make something. And so he made yeah, Mario.
So when
But
Miyamoto started, I did read a book on this. They weren't even into the video game industry yet, and they like hired him in because they like just asked him to like design something like some sort of toy for kids because that's what they generally do. And he designed something that like it
wait, I
failed.
don't know if that was Miyamoto.
Miyamoto.
Sorry, we might be wrong about all this stuff, but
Yeah,
this is
it's
like the
been
general
years
ideas.
since I wrote this report for a college class, and I do not have the
Sorry, not
paper in
that.
front of me. If I try to go on Google while this is active, it might mess with the visual, so I ain't doing it. So
Yeah,
this is
people should know podcasts don't give you facts. Come on.
podcasts don't give you facts; they give you opinions, and they tell you it's true.
Yeah, exactly. But sorry, not to interrupt you. Continue.
But
But
yeah,
before they got into games,
he basically he was so creative that he was like, well, I don't really have a spot for you, but I'm going to make some artistic spots because you're too creative, too valuable of a resource for us to not hire you, for you to
that's
not be part of
awesome.
this company. And then Donkey Kong came around, and he was had his time to shine.
That's so sick. Another okay, I have to say this too. Another like cool Nintendo tidbit is so one of the first toys they made was the that like stretchy. It's like a has like two levers and it's like a stretchy grab hand thing. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's called the Ultra Hand, and that's the main ability in Tears of the Kingdom. The ability the ability is called Ultra Hand, so it's like a callback to the beginning of Nintendo, and it's like what? It's just such
Oh
a cool little
my
like thing that they did.
god.
I know. Oh, also about the stockholder thing. This is a podcast rumor, but I have heard from other podcasts and sources online that like in the shareholder means Nintendo will get suggestions from their shareholders and Nintendo will just be like, we're not gonna do that. You just trust us." And they don't like ever. So it's like I don't like you say they're compliant or like we
Yeah.
assume because of how
Yeah.
other companies behave that they're compliant to their shareholders, but I don't actually know, man.
I
I
don't
don't know
think
if they
they're
are.
as compliant as other people. They're definitely more of like, listen, we have our company. You bought into this company. You didn't buy the company.
Yeah. Which is good. It's like screw. I hate. I mean, there's so much about American values that it's just like, guys,
Oh,
figure this out.
we
And
could get
but
into
let's not
that, but
even.
this is not the
but that's
podcast for
but,
that.
but that's what it feels like though. It feels like there's like this corrupt kind of money grubbing values that's a lot of Western companies, but then Nintendo doesn't do that. It's like it's refreshing, it's cool,
Mm-hmm.
and it's showing how it makes them successful. Yeah.
All right.
But yeah,
To get into a different subject, to just like
yeah, go for it.
get our minds away from that, I just realized like we were showing off all the cool physical things you can get from Nintendo and being a fan of Nintendo, and
Yeah.
Nintendo was one of the only companies that was a toy company that became a video game company, and now they're just like, oh,
Oh,
hey, pay 500 Nintendo points, get this cool little keychain or this cool little toy, this cool little like physical object.
true.
It's like the love of it, like they just kind of expanded their brand. It didn't just they're not just a video game company, they're a toy company.
Yeah.
And when you
They
realize that,
just,
it's like, oh,
now that you mentioned that, I feel like somewhere, we're just saying a lot of rumors today, but I feel like somewhere online I've seen some quote from a Nintendo executive saying we're not a video game company, we're a toy company. And like, and that totally just makes sense in like what they value in the design of their games. They're not looking for graphics because to them it's not like entertainment. It's no, it's a toy. Have fun with it. And when you think about like Labo, like when they
oh
made
my gosh,
Labo,
Nintendo Labo.
and like their kind of insistence with like motion controls and all these like crazy control styles and all that, it makes sense like why they viewed themselves as a toy company and all that. Um, I was gonna say something else. Do you have something else to say? I forgot. Okay. But yeah, they're like it's just like they're very focused on like the fun. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Um,
The fact
but
when
if
we talk about that, like they're focused on the fun, and the fact that doesn't apply to other video
right,
games.
right, yeah, for some reason, like there's a niche of gamers who they're Dark Souls players who think gaming is some sort of test for your mental reflexes. You know what I mean? Like Dark Souls, CS:GO gamer, which I'm not saying those gamers are bad, but like
Yeah.
they kind
I mean,
of
I kind of am one of
think
those
they
gamers, but
yeah, but you're not a dick about it. Like
yeah,
you don't
exactly.
like there's a lot of gamers like that who think that that's what gaming is or should be. And I appreciate that aspect of it for sure. Like I think we should have that aspect of it, but I like Nintendo. I like the fun. I like the
Yeah.
fun. I mean, I can't even think the last time I played a game where I guess like cart games are fun to get good at, but yeah.
So on that element, can I actually state something about like this is kind of just about relaxation in general?
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
that I find something I find is that through life, you get physically strained from some things, you get mentally strained from some things, and when you're going to unwind, it's not to have neither strain occur, but to have wherever there is absence in that strain to occur. Is my mind. So like if you're spending a lot of your days like thinking and just like doing a lot of mental work, you don't want to do something big and mental for your relaxation, but you might just like go
Yeah.
throw a frisbee or just jog or something like that as a way to cool off because you didn't
Hmm.
get your physical exercise. If you have something physical but like not mentally taxing, you might just want to like actually integrate your mind, get and like with this getting good stuff. A lot of that is like the physical and mental. So here's my statement on the people that are really good at Dark Souls. Whatever they do for their daily life, either it is this competitive Dark Souls stuff, or just isn't as stimulating as they need their life to be, and this is their way to stimulate and get themselves the investment they need into the world around them. It's
That
through
totally
the
makes
games
sense.
they are enjoying, like they are unwinding by unwinding their entire strength because they're not releasing it in the rest of their life. Is my guess.
Yeah. No, that's a really good theory and like observation. No, I agree. Like,
And I'd like to
because
restate theory and observation. There is
yeah,
someone who
yeah.
works a really stressful day and then does no hit speed runs of Dark Souls 1 through 3, and they're going to just eat through me. Well, I could tell them that just like, listen, you are a structural god. You have all the physical and mental strength in the world, buddy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, that's a good point. And like it's just like that's a win for gaming, being able to have a space to express yourself in that way.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, if you have no more to say on that, maybe we can talk about what games we hope get on to the Nintendo Online service because there is one game that I mean, so there's hope for it because they had Banjo-Kazooie. I really hope they put Diddy Kong Racing on the Nintendo Online because that was like one of my favorite. I think it's better than Mario Kart 64, honestly. I mean, Mario Kart 64 has that nostalgia and it's Mario, but Diddy Kong Racing is one of my favorite. I mean, that has a lot of nostalgia too, but I so hope they put that on Nintendo Online, man.
So,
But
for people that don't know, my first cat, Their name was Timber.
Oh yeah, Timber, which is the tiger character on in Diddy Kong Racing. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
That was my main in Diddy Kong Racing. But yeah, just the fact in those races that they had like carts, like water cruisers and planes in the same race. And
Yeah.
like apparently if you go into like the high level, it was just like, oh, the planes are really unbalanced. But if you weren't the high level, it was like this interesting dynamic where like you could almost choose the challenge depending on it, or also like what part of the race is dangerous, is difficult for you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because like the hovercrafts would be like, oh, there's like there would be courses where you could do the whole thing with a car, but there's like watery sections where you kind of have to like go like on this little plot of land that's like surrounded by water, and so you could be a hovercraft on that track and just kind of like go a different route like on the water path.
Yeah.
And like you can also kind of self handicap yourself if you're like playing against players who
Yeah.
like playing on a plane stage using a car, so like you
Yeah.
can't fly over everything and stuff. But
There's a specific moment I remember in one of the last tracks in like the space world where there's like this bridge going up to the exit, and like if you fall off the bridge,
oh
you lose all the time
yeah,
unless you're a plane, and then you just fly over it all. Like, so it's just this
yes,
bridge that gets more and more narrow, and if someone shoots you in the back and just knocks you off the bridge, you've lost
you're
the
screwed.
race.
Yep. Dude, that game was fun. That was just fun. But yeah, hopefully because that game was made by Rare. Hopefully and Banjo-Kazooie is made by Rare. Hopefully Rare will allow or Diddy Kong Racing to come back too. Uh another game I think would be really fun to have. I don't know, I think Tecmo I don't know what company owns Bubble Bobble. But Bubble
Oh,
Bobble.
oh
You
my
remember Bubble
gosh,
Bobble? That's one of my favorite games that we've played together.
dude!
Like we
It's
went
like,
over to one of our cousins' house and they had old Nintendo and we were just kids and I just remember like, what is this game? Bubble
yeah,
Bobble? And we just were like, this is so good.
yeah. So
Like,
we rebought it on the Wii and beat it.
yeah, yeah.
And oh my gosh, that game is just like several layers of weird, wacky, perfect for a child, and
Perfect
also
multiplayer fun. Just like you're so for those who don't know, it's literally just a level by level.
like
It's like screens. You get
yeah,
screens.
it's
I
an
was gonna say
arcade game.
platformer, but it's not a
Yeah, yeah,
platformer.
it's an arcade game. You're clearing the screens, and the way you attack is you spit bubbles out of your mouth, and
Yeah.
if you hit an enemy with it, they get stuck in the bubble, and then you go pop the bubble and they die.
Yeah, and so, but also if your bubbles don't hit an enemy, they still exist on screen. So you can just like keep shooting bubbles, and you'll just have a screen full of bubbles that you can like jump on, and like
Yeah,
it's just so crazy and fun. And like, it's one of those games where each play, it's like even if you're better than the other player, like the other player still feels like they have an impact on the level, and like
hmm
you feel like you're working together, and it feels chaotic, it feels fun, and I just have a lot of good memories with that
yeah,
game, and I hope more third party or like non Nintendo party games like that come to
yeah.
yeah Switch Online.
Yeah. One of the things that made Bubble Bobble great was that you had such basic controls, but then the way you interacted with bubbles, and like bubbles had different like movement paths depending on the stage. So some stages you had to
Oh
like
right.
strategize differently by like, oh, all my bubbles are going to the right corners. Oh, I need to shoot towards the center and catch it as it's going out, or something like
Right, and
that.
there was like a method you could like if you like had two bubbles together and you jumped on them, it would like give you a speed boost, and that you
Oh,
could like do other. You remember that?
yeah, there was some weird, cool techniques hidden in the game if you actually
Yeah.
try to learn it.
Yep.
Yeah,
Simple to play, difficult to master. Best type of game.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, any games you can think of that
I'm trying.
that you would want on the thing?
Yeah, I'm just trying to like think a little bit,
Oh, I
cause
think we've been talking for an hour, so it could be let's like could be a good time to just read
yeah.
the comments, and
Um,
we can end it here if there's nothing else. Have we been talking for an hour? Do you have a timer?
53 minutes is what my timer says.
Okay,
So,
perfect.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, do you have any other things that you would think you want to
Yeah,
talk about?
just as
'Cause-
for the nostalgia games, the thing is, my nostalgia is very much on the DS and 3DS, which
yeah.
I, really, I just kind of want to see as they expand the Switch beyond just their. And like, they're doing it slowly, but they're doing it correctly, which is
Hmm.
good. Like, one thing that I know people would be absolutely, like, floored with is if they brought emulated Smash Bros. Melee.
Oh my gosh.
Because
Dude, yeah, why haven't they haven't even teased Smash Bros. I feel like they don't want to for some reason.
So
But
it's so here's the thing: there's a Melee competitive, and if they remaster or do anything with Melee, they risk like the competitive people not liking the changes. But
Think that's
also,
why? Okay,
that's
yeah.
one possible
I can see
thing.
why. I can see
Um,
why, yeah, because the melee, yeah.
yeah, like the things that they go into detail. Like the more you look into it, the way they've like modified their controllers, the way that they've but
They
it
get
would be
into
good
it.
because,
It's interesting.
yeah, I will say this: if you could get online Melee through official Nintendo sources, the world will love you because that is one of the things. The reason they couldn't host it recently is because they were using Slippy, which is a third-party source, which would mean if they hosted the tournament, they'd be advertising a third part, like they'd be advertising the modification of a Nintendo game, which they couldn't own. So like a lot of
Yeah.
times Melee has to deal with that stuff where it's like, to make this game work, we have to do these things that the game's not intended for. Another thing, Melee was built for different monitors. So like our flat screens process things differently than those old like VHS sort of monitors. So they actually have to get those old monitors at Melee tournaments, and there's only so many left. They when they break, they're not making new ones. So
Damn.
like
That's crazy. There's so much to this.
yeah, and just like if they could get it like remade on the Switch, suddenly all of that stuff breaks apart. The oyster's open. The world is happy with it, but it's just like they have to do it right. And right
You
now this is
know,
all on N64, so they have time.
yeah. Okay. And you know what that makes me think is like the way Nintendo's going, how there are all these really awesome fan projects and things that bring fans together and they do their own thing and Nintendo tries to shut it down. It makes me think there should be, is going to be, want to be some sort of underground Illuminati Nintendo fan base that just, because have you seen the like, Ocarina of Time HD remaster things on YouTube that people do? And like,
Mm-hmm.
dude,
Have you seen the
like you
Banjo
could never
Kazooie
sell it.
remaster?
Yes, exactly. That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
Oh my
So,
gosh.
like, the fans already doing it. Let's just like all get together, just hand out flash drives to each other. Like, don't Nintendo doesn't need to be involved. Like, we're fans. We're all big fans. Like, let's do it, boys. Like,
That
boys
was
and
a
girls. And
that they already kind of do that. When Melee brought in Nintendo, like when a person tried to get on Nintendo to sponsor them and like actually start when Panda started working with it, a lot of the other companies were like, "Hey, don't poke the sleeping bear. Just keep it hidden. Like, don't let them."
yeah,
That was literally what some people said. Like,
yeah. So this is an official call to all Nintendo fans that like if it's already out there, send us the invite. And
yeah, how do
if
I
it's not,
enter this anonymous like
yeah, because
super
okay,
chat?
the thing that really made me think that something like that could, because the fan remakes were sick as hell, and I was just like, man, this more of this. But do you remember? Did we talk about this on the last podcast? I think we might have in GDQ when they did the Ocarina of Time speedrun Taskbot run.
Yeah,
Do you remember that?
we did not talk about this, but yeah, I
Okay.
do. Are we talking about the Triforce percent or
Maybe it was called that. I'm talking about where they like reprogrammed the game
yes,
with a
Triforce
bot. Yeah, yeah.
percent?
Traverse percent. Yeah, yeah. Um,
That thing.
Yeah, that was sick. So just to get everyone caught up, first of all, if you haven't watched it,
Watch it and go.
pause this
Yeah,
podcast, go watch it. I don't want to spoil it because it's one of the greatest
yeah,
experiences you'll have, especially if you're a Zelda fan. Like just
yeah.
pause, Google GDQ TA. GDQ is the event. TAS bot Ocarina of Time. I think it was a couple years ago,
Yeah,
maybe
it
like 2021.
listen. It was called the Triforce percent run,
Thank you.
so you
Okay, yeah,
can
yeah.
use that to find it.
Okay, that's the title. I never know what the title, but yeah, try first percent. So good, go watch it. Okay, now spoilers. It was hella sick. What they did was they made it seem like it was just a normal speed run, except they're like, so we're gonna go over some of the glitches that allow us to access certain parts of the game that never came to light, and they just tied all the loose knots that you ever had when you were a kid, like all the loose knots about like, oh, why is the Skull Kid in the forest like doing this? Why can you never beat that Running Man in the Running Man mission? Why did they have previews where you could get the Triforce back in the day? And that's what the whole run is based on basically is like back in the day. Like I think there was commercials where
Yeah,
it literally showed Link pulling up a Triforce, be like, oh, and but then that's not in the game.
yeah,
So all of these mysteries that they like solved for us, and at the end they reveal that like, oh, this actually wasn't in the game. We actually like reprogram. Do you need to say something before
So
I
yeah,
finish my thought?
specifically what they did is
Oh, you know what's up.
they
Yeah, yeah.
grabbed all the
Oh,
so whenever you make a game, there are unused assets that's just like they're still loaded in there, but they're not actually being used. We've seen that in many other games, and what they said is like, hey, here are all the assets. So the Triforce is an item. It's just like not accessible in the game. So they rebuilt and like, okay, this thing doesn't have this item has a quest, but the quest never triggers. We're going to make a quest trigger for it here so that we can actually do a quest and it makes sense within the world already created within Ocarina of Time.
yeah, and not only did they piece together all the mechanical elements, but they also like integrated all the story elements too. Like they added their own dialogue. They oh my god, dude, I'm like
It
about to tear up
it
again just thinking about it. It is
it
so
felt
good.
like just like the DLC, the ultimate version of Ocarina of Time.
Yeah.
It's like the 106% reward victory lap reward.
Yeah,
Like
so like when I saw that, I'm like, boys, we don't need Nintendo. I love Nintendo, but we don't need them. Like we've got the spirit of Zelda within all of us. Like let's like yeah, let's make something cool. But what were we talking about before we went off on that tangent? Just like
the
the
Illuminati.
community. Yeah, the Illuminati. That was it. Okay. But yeah, like that'd be sick. Like that's another thing. Whenever people talk about, oh, Nintendo's ruining their own games, blah blah blah, like this, guys, we fans, we can make everything happen.
Yeah.
So like, you don't got to worry if you're a Nintendo fan. You're worried about Nintendo going down a bad route. Like, the fans will come up. The fans are creative, and like, I'm excited for the future of gaming, man.
And
And I hope some cool stuff happens.
and another path, if you're like, I don't want to get DMC aid from Nintendo like another Metroid 2 remake did. I want to actually be able to make money. You can still take that nostalgia, that passion, and put it into your own version of the game, but with its spirit. So like a perfect example,
Yeah,
Pizza
Tunic.
Tower. There's a game Pizza Tower that's
Oh,
basically Wario Land 4, except just
yeah,
like it's the next Wario Land, but it's their own world. It's not they're not going to be attacked by Nintendo. There's no connection to Nintendo, but there's all the spirit and love of that game put into
yeah.
this. And so like there's a lot of ways that can be done.
This is like such a weird backhanded compliment for Nintendo. It feels like that, like, man, your games are so good. You're inspiring us all to take your shit, like, copy you, and like just be done with you. It's like,
Yeah. Yeah. You're so
but
great.
yeah,
We want to throw you in the dirt and take you for ourselves.
yeah, yeah,
What
kind of,
the?
yeah. No, that's that's a really aggressive way to put it, but you're right.
I mean, that's how they feel about it. I'll tell you that much.
It's true. No, it's true. It's true. But yeah. Anything else you want to talk about before we read over the comments of the last video?
I think I'm good. I think with it was a great podcast just talking about, well, first, yeah, just everything we talked about with Nintendo and kind of the future of it, kind of where we are going, and just the greatness of the community in the end there.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, and I definitely want to be keeping up with like the weekly things Nintendo does. So like, hey, if you like hearing about what the updates with Nintendo Online and what goes on with Nintendo every week, and like I'll let y'all know what all the free stuff is you can get and where the best Nintendo deals are. You know what I'm saying? So
Focus is going to
yeah,
keep
let's go
you
to
up
the
on that, 100%.
yeah. Focus will keep you focused. All right, let's go to the comments. We got 3 comments by 2 people.
Do you want to read them? Because I remember. If
I don't have it pulled up, but didn't T-Lore... One second.
Let's
I
see.
do have it pulled up.
Let's see if I can pull
Oh,
it
here it
up.
is. Here it is.
Without...
I got it. Okay. T-Lore, looking forward to more episodes of this. Well, look forward no further because it's here.
Hell yeah,
Second
bro.
episode. Thank you. T-Lore's a real one. He's cool.
He's a good friend of mine.
Yeah. Tadpole knows him a lot, and I met him, and yeah, he's a cool dude. I like him. But okay, also the greatest thing about the Mario Kart DLC is that it doubles the content in the game. Yes. Overall, adding 48 tracks to a game that already had 48 tracks, and for a cheaper price than the original game if you don't have the online expansion pass. Yeah. The Nintendo Online is so insane. And yeah, they added he said it all. I don't know what else to say.
One
It's
of the things
exactly
we're bringing up with that is one thing we didn't consider is like, because we have the online pass, we didn't even consider like, oh, I don't have that. Well, it's still super cheap. Like, it's still less than an actual other game.
Yeah,
to
it's
buy
$25,
another game of
right?
Mario Kart 8.
What was it, $25 for the expansion pass?
Something like that. Yeah, it's
Yeah, but it's not 60. It's not. Yeah,
Hmm.
but yeah, it's so cool. It's literally a new, but it is okay. Some of the courses, like the tour remake courses, are kind of low quality, but it's still fun even if they're like low quality. And it's like, whoa, like these tracks from a mobile game that I've never played are now on here. And I've played the mobile Mario Kart game. It's for kids. It's it's not a real Mario Kart game.
Yeah.
You can't even really control the cart. It's like an auto kart game.
Mm.
It's weird.
Yeah.
But
C-
yeah,
Can I
yeah,
just
good
say on
point,
that,
Tivoli.
like,
Yeah.
just having more courses is great for the online because you get to like pick which of the courses you want, and like all that has to happen is one, like this course, even if it's a simple course like the tour courses, um, if it gets picked just randomly, just throughout like the online events, and it's just like this rare occurrence, it's like, oh, this is basically a new track for me because of how little I run it. Like, it
Yeah,
becomes this
exactly.
unique element, even if it's not a very unique course, by just being rare and being this
Yeah.
option that's available one. Because we can vote for it, you'll only get it when people want it.
Yeah, it's really cool. It really adds like a huge amount of variety. And like just to relate this back to what we were just talking about, one of my friends had a modded Wii, and there's like somewhere online where you can download custom Mario Kart
Oh,
Wii tracks,
that.
and so he just had cups and cups of tracks, like 1,000 tracks, and we just sat there and played it for like 2 hours. Never played the same track twice. There was an Alice in Wonderland track. Like most of them were kind of like trash, and
Yeah.
like not trash, but like there would be something where like there was a turn that like was not like signaled at
Choreographed.
all. You're just like, oh yeah, choreographed. It was just
Yeah.
like you didn't know what was going on. But there was like an Alice in Wonderland one that was hella sick. But um, and that's like almost like what we're getting to at this point. It's like there's gonna be so many tracks. It's just like it just
Yeah.
blows people's minds, and that's pretty sick. Yeah.
So, yeah,
All
that's
right.
nice. Alright.
Yeah. Any more to say on that?
Nah, just that was a
And
fun
now,
one.
last comment by Shadow Mage. Speaking of so Shadow Mage says, speaking of Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, is it bad that all of my main Pokemon are level 100 and I haven't even bothered to challenge the Elite Four yet? And Shadow Mage, I'd have to say, not only is it not bad, you should be, everyone should be proud of you. And you, how do I say this?
It's about
Like,
taking your own journey. The game is about
well,
taking.
I'm just trying to say, like, this guy, like, it's kind of like defying the government in the real world. It's like they say you need a degree to get a job. This guy's like, I don't even need to beat the Elite Four. He skipped the Elite Four. He just became red on top of the mountain. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the game. And he's gonna roll. He's like, he doesn't play by the rules. That typical Shadow Mage move, to be honest. That sounds like what a Shadow Mage would do. So
Shadow government. He's part of the Illuminati. The
hmm.
Nintendo
Yeah, hey, join the
Illuminati.
Zelda Illuminati. Yeah.
Uh,
But yeah, thank you everyone for commenting.
yeah.
Do you have anything more to say?
No, that is just. This is great. Glad we are doing this. Glad we have wonderful people in the comments to just bring up these things and continue
Yeah,
this.
it's insane. It's insane people are watching. Like
Yeah.
that's sick. Like thank you everyone for watching.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Yeah, when you disappear for like a year, you expect that just like, oh, I'm going to come back, and I'm absent. And the people who are still here are like, why did you leave? No, they were just happy that I came back. I'm super excited to see
Yeah.
that again. Like, dude,
Yeah, you cultivated a sick little community, man. So
thanks, bro. All right.
cool to see them back.
Yeah.
And any last words from you?
Keep gaming.
All
I'll
right,
get to it.
everyone.
I promise. I promise.
We'll play the game. All right, everyone. Well, have a good morning, good night, and good day. And yeah, keep gaming. See you later.